Hello and welcome to Democracy Today on a day that the court has given the recall process against Senator Dino Melaye the green light. I am Odion Bello. And also on the program, the Anambra APC Primary Appeal Committee commences sitting, grills Tony Nwoye.
The 4,000-something delegates that voted were purely the executives of APC and the statutory delegates who were entitled to vote.
And politicians back Yoruba elders on restructuring differ on method. Details in a moment. Politicians are backing the call by Yoruba elders for resource control through regional governance. Many believe that restructuring must happen if Nigeria will overcome the numerous challenges confronting it.
In a political setting, be it a democracy or in whatever setting that it is, where 2 or 3 people are gathered in the name of nationhood, people are allowed to air their views on how they believe that nation should run. What the Yoruba's elders came to tell the entire world is that we currently have a situation that is not working the way every Nigerian would have wished it to work. And that there is need, therefore, to look at our structure, do structural reforms that will ensure that there is justice, equality, and peace. But however, what they have said is not also different from what the president of the nation believes in. And I'll give you an example. I'm not talking about the recent pronouncement of APC. I'm talking about President Muhammadu Buhari as a person. In 2014 or thereabout, when he was campaigning and wanting to win the votes of his party, he said, if you nominate me in December and go ahead to vote for me in February 2015, I will ensure that when we come on board, we are going to review the Constitution that will ensure that the country moves on the path of transparency, accountability, by devolving powers to the states. I mean, I think it was on Vanguard I read that. So it is there in black and white. And why did he say so? He said our politics as at that time was broken. And there was urgent needs to embark on fundamental reforms. That was from the president. That was the campaigner then, who later became the president. So that's why I said that what the Yorubas are saying is not quite different from what the man Buhari believes in. So I'm not even talking of APC. APC on its own has it as a cardinal objective that this nation needs to be restructured along the path of ideal federalism. So when you look at the 3 of them, President Muhammadu Buhari, APC, and the Yoruba leaders, they are saying one and the same thing. But however, the roadmap to where we should be in the ideal federalism, I think is the different thing. When you also look at what the Yoruba leaders have done, it's not quite different from what people are also agitating for. As far back as 1964, we could remember one Adakaboro from River State. He had attempted something like this. Why? Because people were disgruntled with what was happening at the center. Even as at that time, the coup of Gideon Oka also attempted to ensure that everyone stays within a confine of his own geopolitical zone. Why? Because people are not happy at the system that has evolved since the military coup of 1966. You cannot have a federal system by constitution and you are running a unitary system. It doesn't work. And that's what we are experiencing today. But however, before we can do it right, the National Assembly has to do the needful. Unfortunately, when the National Assembly met on the issue of restructuring, it passed through the Senate. It failed in the House of Rep. Why? In the Senate, like every other person knows, you have equal representation. But in the House of Rep, it is not like that. So you have majority of those who do not believe in restructuring because it will affect their political fortune voting against it. But it is not a matter of whether we are comfortable now or not. Nigeria needs to move away from its comfort zone. I believe that we should not disintegrate, but I have also spoken that Nigeria needs to restructure itself towards the path of ideal federal structure, because that's what the Constitution says. So whatever we are doing today is unconstitutional by whatever means is it. We don't have a local government structure in place. We have them in names. That is not what a federal structure says. So this is why I said that I don't think that the belief of Mr. President, the belief of the APC, and indeed the belief of all those who are agitating for federalism, especially fiscal federalism, they are not just different, but the roadmap to where we need to be, I think that is what is different.
You look at the campaign of President Muhammadu Buhari in 2014, and now it is more than 2 years of his administration, and these things are not put in place, or rather put in check. Like what you just said, what the National Assembly did on this restructuring, it seems that even at the end of the tenure, all these things will not be put in place. How do you think we can actually get this right from where we are now?
We need to understand that it is not that possible to have restructured in 2 years, but it will have been possible to lay the foundation and carry people along to let them know that yes, we're going to restructure. I think why everybody is a little bit angry with the system today is that we did not lay that foundation. I'll give you an example. If the National Assembly had passed that bill on restructuring, for instance, it will have doused the tension. And then people will know that, yes, you have a plan. Then the next question will be, what plans do you have? Okay? So that is a fundamental error. And I'm sure that those of them in the House of Rep also believe that it was a fundamental error or fundamental judgmental error that they made in not allowing that bill to pass. That you are restructuring does not mean that you are going to dismember the country. If you look at what the Yoruba leaders said, they said they want a situation, for instance, where you are going to run the country in line with this geopolitical zone structure. Each of the zones will have their own states. And then when you want to talk about funding of all the structures within the polity, 50% will need to go to the states, I think 35% to the region, and then 15% to the federal government. So in that case, it means that the states where things are being produced will need to keep to themselves 50% of what it is. However, these are postulations. These are suggestions which, of course, will need to be discussed at a larger forum involving the North, the South, the East, and the West.
That's it on this edition of Democracy Today. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow for more political happenings. I am Ogie Bello.